Coming up, President Trump plans another face-to-face meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. With a ceasefire in Gaza holding, President Trump turns his attention to the war between Russia and Ukraine.
Concerns with education amid the government shutdown, the one program that people are pretty worried about as lawmakers try to reach a deal.
And 18 years later, you can still see the effects of a devastating tornado. This morning, we take you to Greensburg with a message of hope.
And it's a season for scares and spooks, and you'll want to stick around if you're looking for something that's frightening and a little fun.
Yeah, in our second half hour, we take you to the Field of Screams to check out some Halloween thrills.
Well, we are thrilled to have you here on this Friday morning for Kansas Now. I'm Annette Lawless.
And I'm Britton Rucker, filling in for Max Dutton.
Yeah.
As we end the week, we're getting ready to walk you through some headlines across the state, along with some stories that are sure to make you smile. It's part of what we do here on Kansas Now, the new joint newscast between 12 News in Wichita and 13 News in Topeka. Now we'll get to headlines across Kansas and our top 9 at 9.
Okay, first off, the federal government remains closed with no end in sight.
Viewer contributions make local programming possible on WNIN. Become a member of WNIN with your contribution so we can continue to make this programming available. Visit WNIN.org and click on the donate button.
Welcome to WNIN Newsmakers. I'm April Nading. We'll be joined by former news anchor Brad Bird and get his thoughts on local news coverage of a recent chemical fire in Newburgh. WNIN Newsmakers is up next. Welcome to WNIN Newsmakers. I'm April Nading. On September 6th, a fire at PBTT Corp in Newburgh created hazardous conditions for first responders and then local residents. Former news anchor Brad Bird posted a piece on Facebook about the news media coverage of the chemical fire, and he joins us now to talk about that. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you very much, April. Good to see you, and thanks for the invitation.
And it's almost like we're working together again.
I know. There you go.
Tonight, the looming confrontation between the federal government and an auto giant. The new threat, the anger.
I'm not going to give him a penny because it was tied in to making sure Windsor and keep Brampton going.
And what Stellantis is now telling Canadian workers a day after shifting gears to the U.S. What we are learning about a breach hijacking airport PA systems, including several here in Canada. And a supreme modern makeover.
This is what was the core values for creating these masterpieces.
What went into the refresh to mark a major milestone for the top court?
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina.
Good evening. A major showdown brewing tonight between one of Canada's biggest automakers and the federal government.
13 First Alert Weather Facts.
How can it hail when it's warm out? Well, it all starts in the clouds. The top layer is well below freezing. Water droplets there can freeze and oftentimes will then melt on the way down. But some larger hailstones have a chance of making it to the ground. Questions? Send them on over to Weather Facts.
13 First Alert Weather Facts, sponsored by Southern Arizona Pools.
La información correcta es crucial y en Noticias Telemundo Colorado abordamos los temas críticos que nos afectan a todos.
Estamos hartos de las cosas malas que han pasado.
Con las noticias locales que más te interesan.
¡Sin papeles y sin miedo!
Toda la información en un solo lugar.
La pelea que viene es dura. También sabemos que nosotros somos fuertes, unidos.
Acompáñanos a las 10 de la noche para que te informes sobre las noticias locales de mayor impacto. Noticias Telemundo Colorado, siempre local, siempre en vivo, siempre contigo.
We love Atlanta.
I love the activity, the life.
The parks.
The nightlife. The people.
It's home.
That's why we're dedicated to making it the best it can be. Finding solutions that affect us all. Solutions that help us not just survive, but thrive. Solutions that help make our daily commutes easier and communities safer. Because we believe in Atlanta and its bright future. See solutions to make your life better on 11 Alive News.
Live from WKYC Studios, this is 3 News at 6.
Tonight, the aftermath of No Kings rallies here in Northeast Ohio as tens of thousands make their voices heard at the local level, crying out against the current White House administration.
Everybody has to have the opportunity to voice their opinions, and we can't have one person telling us what we should or shouldn't do.
Tonight, reaction to today's events that brought out millions in protest and from White House supporters who see today as a day of hate and anger for our country. Good evening and thanks for joining us for 3 News at 6. I'm Peter Fleischer. Today's No Kings protest brought out millions across the country.
Now, Channel 11 News, coverage you can count on.
More than 2,500 protests across the country today. Thanks for being with us. I'm Rich Pierce. Protesters primarily speaking out against President Trump and his administration's policies. Thousands gathering across our area, including this rally in downtown Pittsburgh. Channel 11's Frederick Price is live now downtown with more on the message being sent today.
Breaking news here at 6:30 on CBS News Chicago. An estimated hundreds of thousands of people mobilized on the streets of Chicago expressing their frustrations with the Trump administration. What we saw today and how Republicans are responding tonight. Also tonight, a severe weather threat. We are watching for storms. We are watching for downpours. We'll tell you what the latest models are revealing about this system and the tracking and the timing of all of it. Thanks for being with us here on this special 6:30 newscast. We start with that breaking news. The No Kings rallies around Chicago, the biggest one downtown, which started in Grant Park, and the goal to push back against the Trump administration amid immigration raids in the city.
Your voices, your stories, in your community. 7 News Detroit at 10 on TV 20 starts right now.
Now at 10, Americans flooding the streets, raising their voices against the Trump administration. From New York to LA to Metro Detroit, millions took part in round 2 of the so-called No Kings protests. Welcome to 7 News Detroit at 10. I'm Randy Wembley. Thank you for joining us. The protests are happening against the backdrop of a government shutdown and rising tensions over immigration raids across the country.
Protesters packed the streets in cities across Colorado. Their message, No Kings.
Everything that's going on in this country right now is terrifying. And I just think that this is what we can do right now.
Denver 7 is listening to their voices, hearing what they want to see for our country.
A frost advisory is in effect across our area. I'm going to be breaking down when we can see warmer temperatures return back into our forecast and also when rain chances sneak back in as well.
Plus, after a fire wiped out a local laundromat, a mountain town was left without a simple necessity.
And it just helps us to feel like we're doing something to really help people that are in that time of need.
Tonight, the crew rolling in to help keep Netherland clean. Now at 10, thousands of Coloradans taking to the streets, more than 2,000 No Kings protests unfolding nationwide, and dozens of those happening right here in our state.
This is CBS LA at 11.
No Kings! No Kings!
Right now at 11 from coast to coast, including here in Southern California, millions rally against the Trump administration on No Kings Day. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Gio Insignares.
And I'm Hunter Sowards. We start with that from Santa Monica, Covina, Simi Valley, and downtown LA, as well as other communities in between. Crowds gathered with a unified message of No Kings. CBS LA's Zach Boetto was in downtown LA with the crowds.
After a mostly peaceful day, 2 dispersal orders by LAPD has brought out a couple dozen officers to push protesters away from the Metro Federal building.
Right now on WCCB News at 10, a wonderful start to the weekend, but a round of gusty showers and storms arrives from the west Sunday afternoon. I'll walk you through the strongest winds and the heaviest rain closing out the weekend coming up in your WeatherWise forecast.
Plus, thousands of anti-Trump protesters dubbed No Kings rallies being held in communities across the country. We'll take you there. Plus, you'll hear the response from Republican leaders. And it's never too early to talk about snow, how NCDOT is preparing months ahead of time.
Far too often, people are resorting to gunfire and gunplay to solve what should be a minor difference in a minor confrontation. It's sad, it's tragic, and it's not.
Well, a violent start to the weekend in the Queen City. Thanks for joining us for the news at 10. I'm Marvin Beach. CMPD is investigating 3 separate homicides this Saturday. One of those happening at a Food Lion in North Charlotte.
Live at 11, CBS 47 Action News Jax starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Yana Gavino. We'll start first with the Powerball drawing. Here are the winning numbers.
Jackpot game. This is Powerball. Good evening, America. I'm Laura Johnson.